Let's talk about Gradey Dick. I have kind of mentioned a few times this year that I have wanted to do a breakdown video on Gradey Dick. And the timing just never kind of added up. You know, they lost a game or it ended up being like a crazy night where he would go for 30 and there were 5 other things that happened in the night. So I just haven't gotten a chance to like really dive into Gradey Dick yet. And I'm fascinated by what he has done this season. I think he has been fantastic as a little, I don't even know if I want to say like pop-up guy, but as a guy that I wasn't necessarily expecting a crazy amount of following his rookie year. I don't want to say he had like a terrible rookie year, but it wasn't, there were clearly growing pains. I thought he was really rough on defense, but more than anything, there were just real like growing pains in the minutes that he played as a rookie. This year, he's just been splendid. I mean, look at over his last, 4 games, 27 points against the Mavericks, 22 points against the Heat, 27 against the Bulls again tonight. Coming into tonight, he was averaging 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and he was only shooting 41% from the field, 34% from 3, and 90% from the line. The thing is that the shooting is going to come around. Like, I'm not that worried about the shooting. Like, he's going to knock down threes at a high level, even if that hasn't happened yet in his NBA career. So far, he's only shooting 35.6% from 3. He's going to shoot better than that. I have like zero doubts about that. It's more everything else that he brings offensively that I think is really fun. He's been a really good cutter. He's been really good at being able to get into the mid-range and get to his shots, even off the bounce. There's a crossover in this game that like didn't even lead to a shot, but I just kind of pulled it to talk through it because like this is stuff that I didn't really see him do in high school. Didn't really see him do at Kansas. Certainly didn't see him do last year. I'm just really interested to see kind of where Gradey Dick settles in as an NBA player. I mean, right now he looks like he's going to be an NBA starter for sure, given the value of shooting around the league. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about what he's done so far as an overall scorer. We're also going to talk about the defense. I think the defense needs work, but so does the rest of Toronto's defense. And we're going to talk about some of the positive things he shows on defense. There are moments where you can say, oh, like I can understand what he's seeing there. Like he knows when to X out. He knows where he needs to help. He has a good sense of what to do. He's just not strong right now. He's going to have to get bigger. He's going to have to get stronger. But I've been impressed with what I've seen from Gradey Dick so far in his second season. So let's dive in. Let's talk through it. So for people who are not aware of who Gradey Dick is, Gradey Dick's over here in the corner. Long hair, blonde hair. People that I kind of know, I've met Gradey in passing, like not super long, not like, had like a crazy in-depth conversation with him. Everyone I know that knows him just speaks like about how like he's just like a really fun kid as much as anything. And he seemed like a super fun dude when I met him. Really has that kind of confidence about him, that quiet confidence. Like you see the TikToks and you see him just like put himself out there. Like that comes from like a real degree of confidence that he has. And he plays like he has confidence. You can see it. So here, just right place, right time, ends up getting a steal, right? I mean, I love this. He sees, all right, I don't have numbers. I have 1, 2, a trailer here. I only have Oshai as a running mate. Let's slow it down, right? But then he pivots. I'm curious when he sees this because he really wheels around and fires this thing. I think he sees that this is going to be available here. You kind of see him turn his head here. And he draws both of these guys to him. And then by doing that, he knows that he's going to have Pirtle diving to the rim. And he just throws it. Could have been an easy dunk, but Pirtle still, gathers it, catches it, brings it to the basket. It's just smart basketball play. It's not crazy. It's just smart. So here, look, it's hard because I wasn't able to get like the first portion of this, but this is just like a toss back play here where he's guarding Pat Williams. Pat Williams going to go set a flare for Nikola Vucevic. So he's going to get switched on to Vooch. And this is a real problem right now for Gradey. Like, he can't deal with basically any big who can dribble the ball. He just can't do it right now. He's not strong enough. He's not physical enough defensively. It's a real issue. This is an area where he's going to have to improve defensively. He has to get more disruptive on the ball, just point blank. It's going to be a problem otherwise, especially for this Toronto team that throughout Darko's tenure, frankly, I really enjoy the Darko experience on offense. I think that dude is a really, really sharp offensive mind. I love the way he spaces the court. I love some of the sets he runs. I love the way he gets these guys open a lot of the time. But I've not loved what I've seen from Toronto defensively, and you can point to guys coming in and out of the lineup and them not having a lot of continuity all the time, especially this year. Emmanuel Quickly missing time, Scotty Barnes missing time. It hasn't been easy for these guys to get a lot of continuity. But like Gradey right now doesn't even feel like, for instance, like Mr. Ray says, like Gradey was never expected to be a good defender. We were just hoping he could be neutral at 6'7". He's not real close to neutral to me right now. But I think he shows instincts in help situations and off the ball to where you can think he might get there at some point. So here, I would love to know if this is a set play or if this is just a reaction here. Did Jakob kind of say something when he turned there to Gradey? I would love to know. Gradey just goes. Vooch just stuck in the mud for, Vooch reasons, because Vooch is not a very good defender either. Look, I know he misses the layup, but to be able to catch this, have the body control, have the flexibility and the touch at full speed to be able to throw this in a reverse with like spin off the glass and for it to hit that rim softly and like even have a chance to go in, I think is a good sign for long term. I'm not saying that like this is an excellent play necessarily. I like the instinct of the cut, but I like the body control and the ability to catch, lay it up with touch all in one motion. The ball just rims out, right? In general, Gradey has not been a very good finisher this year either. Just kind of looking through the numbers as we talk through this, I can pull them up over on Synergy. Shout out the good folks over at Synergy as always. He has made 51% of his shots at the basket in total this season. And that only includes 45% of his shots in half court settings. I mean, like for reference there, he's shooting 48% on pull-up mid-range jumpers right now versus only 45% on attempts at the basket in half-court settings. At some point, A, that will probably jump as he gets stronger. But B, also, he needs to get better at this right now. He just needs to get a little bit better at finishing around the basket. But I like the tools there. I like the ability to catch and throw that ball up with touch off the glass. So here, just simple stuff available there in the tag. Now he's going to get out, try and close out onto Pat Williams. And this is just really bad, closeout technique here. All of his weight is on his left foot here. And his, body is like an S, I would argue. It's going to be really hard to maintain any degree of balance when your body is that contorted. It's going to be really hard for you to cut off a drive And he just gets blown by here by Pat Williams, right? And it ends up leading to the bucket. I like the tag. Just got to work on the closeout technique, right? So this one misses the shot, but just a simple, sharp relocation to the corner. He has really good off-ball instincts. Catches the ball, gets on balance, all in one motion, catches with one hand, gathers up. The other thing worth noting with Gradey Dick, and this is the real reason I grabbed this clip, look at how high this release point is. He really elevates into the jumper when he has to, and he has a super high above his head release point, which I think, again, long term is really going to allow him to be an impact offensive player. He has great touch. He has a super high release point. He has great balance on these shots. He is leaning a little bit toward his left here because that's kind of where the pass took him. But that ball comes off the rim pretty softly, in my opinion. Just doesn't go in, right? You can see where this is going with him, even if some of the shots don't fall from three. He's going to make threes. Like, this is going to happen. And once he does, he's, like he's averaging 18 right now, and he's not making threes at a 40% clip. I mean, maybe this is just like aesthetics for me. Maybe I just think the shot looks beautiful and it's going to go in, but mechanically and touch-wise, like, he has all that. He's going to be in a good spot, I think, at some point. So here, just a quick little relocation up. Drive and finish. This is a good example of the finishing, right? So Davion Mitchell does a good job reading that Lonzo kind of comes in on the handle and is going to have to close out the Dick. Gradey does a great job. Little jab step this way. Open up the angle. Get to the rim that way. Little pass fake out to Mitchell to keep Mitchell honest. Then he's going to lift the ball up over Talen Horton-Tucker there. Uses his frame against Lonzo perfectly. Shields off Lonzo from the ball. It's textbook. It's beautiful. If he could do that every time, he'd be a really good finisher. He just can't do it every time. So here, attack, jab step, spin, lefty finish now. See, now we're like cooking with gas on some of this finishing stuff. And why, again, you can see why, even though the numbers don't say he's going to be, or don't say he is a great finisher right now, you can see some worlds where he really becomes a good finisher once he gets stronger. So here, jab right, hesitation more than a jab, drive left, feels Giddey getting a little bit onto his left side. So he spins back, loads up off of 2 feet. This is not one that he's going to make all that often. But lefty release at the rim. And look, like, a big help point here is that this is Nikola Vucevic, right? And Vuce is a pretty poor rim protector. But that's fantastic. Once he gets stronger, like, I think some of the footwork stuff is actually pretty decent. Once he gets stronger and is able to go through guys, like, you can see a world where this turns and this like becomes like a real positive portion of his game. So here, just a little dribble handoff. Another set where I think he can just be super dangerous long term, right? Dribble handoff. Miscommunication here between Pat Williams and Kobe White. Gradey feels it. What I like here too, notice the footwork. Really right-left footwork there as opposed to left-right, which is a little bit more natural for a right-handed shooter. He can make them from different footworks. This one doesn't go in. But again, like, even being comfortable getting to those footworks, says a lot to me about where this is going to go. So here, Ayo's playing him physical. This is the crossover that I put on here. You can see like he doesn't shoot it because I think that someone kind of catches him in the eye. He's like kind of got the hand up to the face there. I think that, you know, Ayo just might have caught him on the way through trying to get back into the play. But like that crossover is something he did not have at Kansas. Just point blank. I'm not sitting here saying it's the fastest thing in the world. I'm not saying that it's something that is going to make him like a shot creator long term. But when you have the ability to shoot like he does, it doesn't have to be that. And I think Ayo just caught him there. But pretty good. This episode of Game Theory is brought to you by BetterHelp. This month is all about gratitude, and there's someone that we don't often think about and thank enough: ourselves. Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we're trying our best to make sense of everything. Look, in this world, it is not easy. Here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people in your life, and that does include yourself. I'm someone who's absolutely gone to therapy in the past, particularly when I got diagnosed with ADHD. It's helped me immensely to understand myself, understand particularly how to put boundaries up with my interests, how to put boundaries up with work. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/game theory today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/game theory. My Doer jeans are truly my favorite piece of clothing that I own right now. They sent me out a pair of jeans and they are fantastic. I've been wearing these things everywhere that I can whenever I go out of the house. They are so comfortable. They look great. They feel great. They're stylish. They're versatile. You can wear them in a lot of different situations. They are fantastic, fantastic jeans. Doer is built for doing, with styles of stretch performance denim and lifestyle apparel for everyone in every season. Doer has you covered for the colder winter months with fabrics like a fireside denim, which is interwoven with fleece for warmth without too much bulk. Plus, Doer's clothes are sustainably crafted to last. They're going to be a staple in my closet for years. I am going to try and get them to send me more clothes out, in all honesty, because they have been so good. I love my Doers, and I'm sure you will too. Check out Doer's flagship stores in LA or Denver, or shop online at shopdoer.com/game theory. That's shopduer.com/game theory. Right now, my listeners are going to get 20% off your first purchase when you use that exclusive URL. Don't wait. Get 20% off at shopdoer.com/game theory. This one I grabbed because I actually think he's in the right. So Ayo comes up, Ochai ends up kind of helping in here to stop the middle penetration. Giddey immediately cuts. I like the instinct here from Gradey Dick to get there. Really, this needs to be Ochai Xing out here. And Ochai just goes back. And then Gradey kind of looks at it and goes, oh shit, like we're fucked. But that's not on Gradey. Actually, I think he did the right thing there defensively. This one, we've got him in transition. He misses that layup, but gets up. Continues to move. Just look at him constantly trying to relocate to find the open angle for a pass here. So he gets up. He thinks he might have it in the corner. Nope. Thinks he might be able to get there on the wing. Nope, because now the passing angle isn't there. Eventually gets all the way back to the side of the court where he started after falling over. Gets the pass. Jab step. I love the little push off here. Does a great job extending that arm out. Stops, pops, drills it. Soft off the rim. Now we're just running give and goes with Pirtle. They're in a zone here, I believe. Maybe not. No, this might just be man. I thought this might have been a zone when I watched it originally. In fact, yeah, it is a zone. It is definitely a zone. So you've got the 3 in the back here, and you've got the 2 out front here. Not really a reason for those 2 to be out front unless this is a zone. They're running essentially like an early exit stack pick and roll here, where Jakob Pirtle is going to screen. In Gradey, in a normal stack pick and roll, he's going to come up to the top here. Instead, if you early exit, you can exit out to the wing here. And by doing that, he can either hit this kick out down to Oshai, or he can get to Pirtle here at the elbow. He just feels that Kobe White is kind of on his side, and I think he just decides, I'm just going to cut and beat this guy to the rim here. And he knows that Vooch isn't necessarily a great rim protector. Great catch, plant, off 1 foot, throws it down. It's perfect. And some sauce on the throwdown. So here, again, just not strong enough, right? So he's guarding Pat Williams here. Pat Williams decides to be aggressive. I understand why they have him on Pat Williams, because Pat Williams doesn't always do that. But if somebody like Pat Williams, that's 240 pounds, decides just to put his shoulder into Gradey, Dick's just going to move backward. Like, that's the reality here. It's a foul. He knows it. Going to have to get stronger. Going to have to get more impressive physically in terms of being able to deal on the ball. Then this one here, this one is unfortunately on Gradey. So I believe that what happens here is Pat Williams is going to back cut. So Gradey kind of comes high thinking, okay, we're just going to run an exchange here, or I'm going to have to fight through a screen. Instead, Williams reads that and back cuts. They kind of, I don't know if this would be a miscommunication or if Oshai just like scrambles to it, but because he gets beat so easily, Oshai feels like he has to come down and take this cut. Gradey realizes it and tries to get back out to Kobe White, but it's just too late at the end of the day. I would want to know before like fully assigning blame what they do in those circumstances and what their plans are in those circumstances. But the ultimate issue there is that Gradey just gets beat on this back cut here by anticipating what's happening. He's kind of flat-footed, as you can see, like his foot there, he's flat-footed on that foot as well, right in the frame before this. Because he's flat-footed, it leads to a Kobe White 3. Things happen, right? He's going to have to get better. Going to have to get better on defense. This one, I love the pace. This is where I think he started to get rolling a little bit. So catch. Quick screen from Pirtle here. Puts the ball in his left hand. Comfortable dribble. Again, look at that right-left footwork. Good base, good balance, nice high release point we're going to see here. Io doesn't really have a chance to get back. Absolute cash. Simple, calm, collected, completely in control of his limbs. Nothing crazy here. Just a simple pull up. But it's the kind of shot that dudes who want to be, real scorers in the NBA, averaging 18 points a game in his second year, they have to be able to do that. So this one, I love the aggressiveness with which he hunts this. Look at the sudden moves here off the ball. Jabs this way to set up Williams. Comes up over the top. Olynyk does a great job here of reading what's going to happen. And then he just aggressively drives because he was feeling it after last possession. Little loose with the ball, right? Like, look at how high this ball gets here on him. He's got both legs in the air. Again, dude throws some flair on it. But stop, sidestep. Nice little fade. I think that's still unbalanced for him, though. Just misses the shot. A little short. Maybe he shouldn't be fading away at that point, but I'm pretty okay with it. Again, look. Josh Giddey, downhill, not an easy guard. Just going to have to get stronger at the point of attack. Going to have to get more physical. Going to have to be able to deal with dudes like this. He generally knows where he's supposed to be on defense. I think it'll get better, but it's an issue right now. It is an issue. This one, I just kind of like the process. And again, just a beautiful off-ball cut. Ends up missing it. Again, just look at all the movement here without the ball. Mobo kind of throws him open to the corner here. Gets an empty side of the court. Kind of loses it, spins back. I think he's hoping that somebody has helped in here and that he's going to have somebody open at the top here. Kind of hoping that maybe Talen Horton-Tucker's in a 1-on-2 situation. Eventually gets it there because Mobo cuts in order to create that situation. Now Jacoby Walter brings it back out. And Gradey just recognizes that he's going to have this open cut. Catches. Again, just not a ton of elevation. Not a ton of elevation to be able to go up and finish. That's where he's really going to have to improve. Going to have to be able to elevate and jump. And he's going to have to get stronger. If he can't do that, he's going to have to work on his footwork to be able to be, tremendous and be able to handle any sort of contact that he deals with. But that one, he's kind of going away from the rim and it's hard. This one, though, again, just the pure aggressiveness, right? That's a tough rebound against Jalen Smith. Grabs it. Speeding up. We're going to get out in transition. We're going to get out on the break. Draw foul. Perfect. This one, he just kind of ends up getting lost a little bit on defense there. Ends up being a miss. They kick it to him. Quick little dribble into a beautiful gather, right? Like he's just kind of standing around there for a minute on defense. That's fine. But I love how Lonzo comes up here. He feels Lonzo just naturally. And he just crosses. And he's good enough with his handle to be able to do that. Gather, right, left, up to finish. Perfect. Picture perfect. This one does a good job kind of being available there on the tag. Then does a good job getting out here for the X out. Shed goes to the corner. You can see that he knows where he has to be on defense. He knows where he's got to go. Perfect. Perfect. Miss. Great play. Not going to sit here and tell you that he's a good defender. He's not yet, but he knows where he needs to be, and that's huge. So this one, they're in like a goofy zone. It's hard to tell from this angle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to say this is a zone because nobody followed my man cutting baseline. So they kick it there. RJ goes to the elbow, kick it back out to Jamal Shed. Shed gets the paint touch. Gradey feels that Kobe White has kind of fallen asleep in his ball watching, so he's just going to relocate. Perfect. Man, the makes are just so pure, too. That's the other thing. Like, it's not even the quickest release. It's just so pure when the ball goes through the rim. That's great off-ball movement. Perfect. Another kind of stack ball screen action here. So Mobo here to set the original screen. Gradey Dick there to try and get Mobo open by screening Vooch. They guard to guard switch it. Gradey gets the ball back, and Lonzo just absolutely sends his ass packing. Lonzo was good in this game too tonight, by the way. I have no idea what his numbers say, but Lonzo was fantastic in this game. He was so active defensively, so helpful. But here's the thing about Gradey. Immediately recognizes, oh shit, we've got the ball. He points out to the corner to Jamal Shed. Jamal's clearly looking at him and says, okay, let me attack Pat Williams. He gets the ball right out to Gradey Dick for an open three. He never really stops on plays and knows how to relocate. It's a huge part of why he's going to be successful. So now Lonzo, just drills this one. There's nothing Gradey can do about that. He just drills it in his face, right? Whatever. That's not terrible. But then Raptors come down and he drills one back, right? And that's really where we're going to call it on this one. But he wants the ball too. Like, you can see he's pointing. He's saying, just put it out here. I thought Jamal Shed was really good in this game too tonight. Hits it. Ultimately, the Raptors fall short in this comeback, but Gradey Dick, 27 again. Second time in 4 games, he has 27 points. And you can just see where this is going for him in terms of where his natural improvements are going to be. As soon as he gets bigger and stronger and more physical, assuming he does, like, look, I don't think his frame is like incredible for putting on weight, but I think he will get bigger and stronger enough to where he'll be able to actually utilize his physicality and frame well enough to be able to finish around the basket, to be able to body up somebody defensively. But the fact that he kind of has all of these things off the bounce now, some counters, has some ability to hit mid-range jumpers, has the ability to come off curls and find mid-range jumpers, which he didn't even really do this much in this game. Attack closeouts into jumpers. There's just a lot there. There's a lot there that you can be impressed with if you're a Raptors fan. A lot there you can be happy with if you're a Raptors fan. I would be very happy if I was a Raptors fan with his progress in year 2. Averaging 18 points a game, I would imagine that's very high among that class. I mean, I'll pull it up while we're talking, but 2023 NBA draft. I mean, in terms of like total points, he's all the way up to 7th now already in total points in that class. Just kind of the easiest way I can search it. I would imagine in terms of like points per game right now, he's behind Victor, Brandon Miller. That might be it, I would bet. In fact, I would almost guarantee it is. So he's probably 3rd right now in points per game in that class. So, a lot of work to do, a lot of work to do on defense, a lot of work to do as a finisher, but a lot to be excited about if I was a Raptors fan with Gradey Dick.